Hey, what is up? It's me, Red P, and it's day 6 of the OnePlus 5T 7-day review challenge. Today it's all about the operating system of the OnePlus 5T. The OnePlus uses its own variant of Android called OxygenOS or HydrogenOS in China. It's supposedly close to base Android with a lot of customization options on top. I'm a long-time iOS user and I don't know what features are OxygenOS and which are Android features, so I'm simply going to cover the entire OS. Before we even pick up the phone, one thing is new to the typical iOS user, the notification LED. It is fantastic. You can assign different colors to different apps, and with just a glance, you know if there is something new or not. I love this feature. Android people may think this is a given, but no, it's not, and that's quite sad. I hate lights in my room when I'm sleeping, so if there was a convenient way to turn off the LED, for example by activating Do Not Disturb, this feature would be even better. When we pick up the phone, we see another feature, which isn't enabled by default. A screen with the time and little icons for every app that send a notification. It would be cool if we could read the notification on the screen, but we can't. Still, this is a very nice replacement for the lock screen. Don't get me wrong, the OnePlus 5T still has a lock screen, but with the quick face unlock and the quick fingerprint reader, you're not going to see it. We haven't unlocked the phone yet, but there are still more things to discuss. Gestures. You assign different letters to different functions. If you draw that letter on your phone whilst asleep, it will perform the assigned action. This is super handy. But let's unlock the phone already. Everyone should find their way around the OS pretty easily. There are a couple of cool features like being able to freely arrange your app icons and add widgets to the home screen. Yeah, iOS has some stupid limitations. If we swipe to the left, we find a place for widgets. I think this is quite useless as we can simply put widgets everywhere on the home screen. So what's the point? Anyway, all the built-in apps are easy to use, but there are less of those. No Notes or Reminders app, for example. I don't miss these apps as I use different apps anyway, but still iPhone users may wonder where those apps are. Another great thing is split screen. If you hold down the right button, you can enter multitasking. This mode is awesome and every phone should have this, right Apple? But let's get into the settings. You can customize a lot of things, but I don't think as many things as with the One and Cyanogen mod. It's been a long time since then and, I could be wrong. One of the first things I wanted to change was some keyboard settings. I want to be honest, at first all these options kind of intimidated me. I didn't want to read all of their descriptions, but I quickly grew to like this amount of customization. We can customize the alert slider. There are some options, but not nearly enough. I want to change the order of the 3 functions, and I just want to have more control over each option. For me, Do Not Disturb is simply not what the 5T tries to sell me. Let me change exactly what this mode does, and I would love the slider even more. One quick thing to add, I never had my iPhone on loud, but at home my 5T is in loud mode, because of the weak vibration motor. Some might think this is a small problem, but the vibration motor really isn't that good and, it's like an integral part of the experience. Furthermore, we can have parallel apps. This means you can have, for example, 2 Instagram apps with different accounts. Pretty awesome. But this feature is limited to specific apps, which is quite sad. I would love to have 2 or more Steam apps. But this feature in itself is awesome enough. I just realized I can't go over all the options and everything that's different. But I just want to say, there's a lot and it's really cool what we can do with the operating system. There's one thing that bothers me with Android as a long-time iOS user though. The permissions system. It's not as organized and some apps refuse to run if you don't give them location access, even though those apps have no reason to use it. But that's probably an Android problem and OnePlus can't do much about that. iOS and Android are different, but both are easy enough to use. I knew iOS limited what the iPhone could do, but the OnePlus just shows that there is no reason for those limitations. It would be hard for me to switch back to iOS now, and that's a pretty good sign. Overall, Android and OxygenOS have convinced me. Obviously, there's always room to improve, but it's a solid experience. So thanks for watching and I hope I see you tomorrow for day 7, my conclusion. Was it a good decision to switch to Android and the OnePlus 5T?